Hey guys, so we are back. Sorry that I haven't been videoing as much in last week's video. It was kind of like a really busy and crazy week. I had grandma and grandpa come visit and kind of showing them around. We did like a tour of Yellowstone, things like that. Took up a lot of the week.
Shit's getting real, guys. We got the park ranger and wildlife management and a second law enforcement. I came out on the boat again this afternoon and the sky is so beautiful. It's a little choppy today. I don't really know why, but it's so nice. Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday. It's my day off. Sorry I haven't been posting as much this week. Kind of been a busy, chaotic week. But anyway, I'm here blowing up my paddleboard right below the Jackson Lake Dam, and I'm gonna float this portion of the Snake all the way down to the Moran Lake turnout, so like Oxbow Bend area. And I think it's about like I need to double check, but like maybe like a 2-mile float. But I'll let you guys know here in just a minute. But anyway, I'm actively blowing up my paddleboard, so I'll get back to you guys here in a minute. Okay, so Oxbow Bend is a 2.4-mile float. So I'm walking myself back to my car, but look at the map on the ground. All right, guys, we are off. We're just gonna kind of float here. We're gonna just take our time, float down the river. So beautiful, beautiful day on the Snake. So, and then I don't know if you guys can see me, but that is Jackson Lake Dam right back there. So if you guys want to put in just a little ways like south of the dam, there's a good boat ramp that you can put in on about right here. So I blew up my paddleboard next to the boat ramp, and then I just put in right next to it. So, and this is such a chill like little paddle. So I don't know if you guys can see, but we got a whole flock of Canadian geese over there. Also, I don't know if you are paying attention to that river. Right now the river is a lot higher because all the snow and ice is like melting off the mountains. So the river is pretty high this time of year. So if you go out on the water, just, you know, make sure that you're careful, make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. There's a lot of currents, clearly you can see this time of year. So just make sure you know how to navigate the water that you're heading out into. Okay, well, that stretch of the Snake was so much fun. I've got my stuff laying out here, waiting on a ride to come pick me up. 10 out of 10 recommend. That stretch was for beginners. So I started up at Jackson Lake Dam and I went all the way down to Pacific Creek. If you go, you need to make sure that you take out at Pacific Creek, because if you go any further south of the dam than that, you're running into intermediate to advanced water. And this time of year, it's going to be advanced regardless because of how high the water is. So just make sure you are watching like way ahead where you can take out at, so that you are like prepared to, you know, take out your boat where you're supposed to and not miss your point, because then you're really stuck. Yeah. So pretty. Good morning, guys. It's Saturday. Sorry I've kind of been falling behind on my video log. Like I said, it's starting to pick up this time of year, getting super busy. I've kind of found that it's been hard to video quite as much. So what I'm pretty much going to be doing from now on is highlighting the different trails that I'm hiking, kind of giving you guys an overview on those. So this morning I am going to hike this trail called Emma Matilda. So, sorry, I had to get the keys for the gov car. But anyway, so I hiked this hike called Two Oceans, which is kind of adjacent to Emma Matilda. The wildflowers this time of year are crazy over there. So me and Peter hiked Two Oceans 2 days ago, I believe. And it was an absolutely beautiful hike. So my goal this summer is to hike all the mileage in the trail
Sounds crazy, but it's actually not that much mileage. I think it's only like 270 miles in the park, give or take, but I'm going based off of the Grand Teton National Geographic's map. So all the trails that are green or black, I am doing in this map. The only trails that I won't probably do is what we call concessioner trails, which are like the horse trails. So I'm trying to get my mileage knocked off there, so once I finish Emma Matilda, I'll have finished all the trail in that little section. So that's what we're gonna do patrol at today. So I'll keep you guys updated. Okay, we're gonna call in. Teton Dispatch, 197 Francie.
197 Francie.
Can you begin backcountry tracking Emma Matilda Trail?
Copy. Initiating backcountry tracking Emma Matilda, 809.
Okay, here we are. Here's a cute little ground squirrel. We're coming into an aspen forest, guys. Aspens. I mean, just check this out. This is crazy. How beautiful everything is here. And we're about to approach a wildflower patch, so I'll video up there. Okay, here we are, and I'm just gonna walk nice and slow through this wildflower patch. I'm spotting a couple different species of wildflowers through here, which I'll stop and show you guys. Alright, first species here. These are beautiful. These are like some of my favorite that I've seen here. Alright, what does this leaf shape look like to you guys? Does it at all look like, resemble like an arrowhead? Okay. Well, this species of flower is called arrowleaf balsam root. So that's these guys here. And they literally kind of remind me of my tattoo, I'm not gonna lie. I love these so much. I have a thing for yellow flowers. Yellow flowers are like my favorite in the whole world. But yeah, there's that shot there. Let's see if I can find another species. Here we go. Okay. This here, these are beautiful. This is gonna be a species of larkspur flower there. I don't know the exact species, but it is a species of larkspur. In the national park, we never pick the flowers. It is illegal and unlawful to pick any plant, flower, tree, anything like that. We want to protect the species, so therefore we can look, we can touch, but don't pick. Which I have had to resist the urge to pick the yellow flowers because I want some so bad. But I'm just gonna kind of walk through here and let you guys enjoy the flower walk with me. I'm seeing all sorts of blue and yellow, purple. Oh my gosh. This and Two Oceans has been my favorite hike so far. I'm not even joking. This is probably the prettiest hike I've been on so far in the park. We got some white flowers on there. I can't see what those are though. Yellow sprigs. Alright, I wanted you guys to see this really quick. So I came to a split in the trail. And I am trying to hit all the mileage in the park, right? So I don't know if you guys can see on that sign. It says Two Ocean Lake parking area a mile down this trail. And in order for me to hit all the mileage in the park, I am gonna have to do a mile out and a mile back. So it's 2 extra miles that I'm doing in addition to these trails this way. So if you look on my map here with me,
this is a loop that I'm currently doing. So I started right here in this parking area here, hiked up here. It was about a little over half a mile. Then I just hiked 1.6 miles up to this split here. So because this sign said parking area, right? I'm gonna be looking for a parking area up here, which is like trailhead, picnic tables. So it's gonna be that area there. So that'll be the 1 mile that I do out. I'm just gonna turn around, come back, and then keep continuing the loop. So I have to finish this loop. I have to do this loop and these 2 loops here. So we're gonna figure out the best way to do that. And then I will finish out my hike by hiking all the way back and cutting back across the parking lot. So I just have to do a lot of doubling over because I've already done this loop and I've already done this loop. So we'll see. There's a weasel and he spotted me. So I'm trying to find him on camera. His little head. Hello? I'm not here to hurt you. Okay, story time. Why I am walking through the endless forest. So me and Peter hiked 2 oceans 2 days ago. And anyway, there's like a campground kind of towards, that's actually the same direction that I'm heading now, that connects the trails. But anyway, there's a campground there that people can stay at. So we stopped and sitting at a picnic table talking, and this gentleman comes walking up to us. And he kind of just stands there, and I'm like, "Hi, sir." I wasn't in uniform or anything, but I had my little Park Service backpack. And he was like, "Are you guys just passing through?" And I looked at Peter. I was like, "Yeah." "We're just, we're just passing through, whatever." And he was like, "Okay, I wasn't sure if you guys are y'all camping here?" And I was like, "Oh no, sir." I was like, we work for Park Service. We actually live in the park. I was like, so this is just like a day hike for us, and then we're probably gonna head back to our house. And he was like, oh, okay. And then he just kept standing there, and I was like, like maybe he just wanted to talk. And Peter was like, "Can we help you?" And he was like, "Oh, well, like, I was gonna see, if you guys are staying here, if I could bribe you with some elk steaks." I was like, "Elk steak?" And he was like, yeah. He was like, "I have this canoe on the top of my truck." He was like, "I was gonna see if you guys could help me get it down, and I could give you guys some steaks or whatever." And of course I was like, "You don't have to bribe us." I was like, "Well, we'll definitely help you." So me and Peter helped him get his canoe off the top of his car, and then Peter carried it down to the water, and he gave us elk steaks. So anyway, hiked the rest of the hike with them in the backpack, which was really funny in my opinion. Then we got back home and we cooked them. I did try it. I did eat it. And they were actually really good. I just thought it was so funny. I was like, all right, help a guy carry a canoe, get elk steaks out of it. So anyway, I just thought that was a really funny story. So I wanted to share that with you guys. So all right, we did it. So we're just turning back around, and here we go. I'm just hiking along, munching on some gummy worms, and that was my view. You can even see the pond over there. Also, this is a shout out to Tyler for getting me these gummy worms, because he got me them whenever I left Georgia, and I'm still eating them. But I've almost finished all the snacks now. It was in the box, but we got the gummy worms left. We're getting higher in elevation. Got a beautiful view of the lake here. and that is Emma Matilda Lake. Okay, I love this stretch. There's a bunch of teeny tiny little wildflowers. Also, make sure you guys aren't stepping off trail. They're doing some preservation in these areas, so yeah, just make sure that you're staying on trail because they are doing a lot of preservation, including on the water as well. So this like portion of the lake is closed. There is a really big nest up there. I have no idea what type of bird that is. Maybe like an osprey. Oh. I think it's an osprey, guys. Oh, there's two. There's two of them. There's that one. They're watching me very close. They're really not happy with me. They are making sure I am not coming near their nest, and I was like, I'm not. For a second I really thought it's gonna be attacked by a bird. They were big too, but that was pretty cool. I've never seen them that close before, so that was a pretty cool find, not gonna lie. I'm at home with all the little yellow flowers. I love them so much. We're beginning the descent down towards the lake. Okay, pause. This is cool. If it'll focus. Caterpillars emerging, and they're just having a time over there. They're kind of cute. Wow. Well, we made it back to civilization. There's the road. Motorcycle. Okay, well, I need to take a break and get some more water in my water bottle. So I'm gonna teach you guys how to filter water. And let's see. So what I have here, trying to figure out how to set up. What I have here is the Platypus Gravity filter, which is my personal favorite. It's super light. It weighs less than an Nalgene when you pack it. So this is my filter by preference, and I'll show you guys how to use it. Okay, now when you filter water, there are some things you want to look for. The best type of water to filter is like running clear water, and then you want to gather that water upstream. Now, however, I've passed a couple streams, but they look like melt, ice melt, so I didn't really want to filter water from there. But I'm at the lake right now, and I'm going to filter water out of the lake, which you can do. You just kind of like run into the problem. It might be a little bit more dirty than, you know, your running water systems. So here inside of the bag that I have 2 bags. One of them says dirty and the other one says clean. We're gonna use the dirty bag to collect the unfiltered water. So how I'm going to set up my filter is this is the actual like filter portion. So you'll see on the filter here, it will have this little, I know it's backwards, but it says flow. It's backwards on the camera, but it says flow. So what you want is the dirty water to flow downward. So we're gonna plug this end into our dirty bag after we collect our dirty water. So I'm gonna go collect dirty water really quick, and then I'll come back and show you guys how to set this up. Sweet, so I've got my dirty water. I'm gonna zip up the bag really quickly. I'm gonna do that off camera. And all you need for this gravity filter to work is a tree, a branch of some sort will do nicely, and we're gonna, it kind of speaks for itself. Gravity is what is actually going to cause the water to filter, so I'll show you here in a second. Alright, so I went ahead and put the other end of the little hose here into my gravity filter. I'm gonna want to make sure the flow is pointed down. There you can read it nice and pretty. This end here, I'm gonna set this as an extra cap. We're going to actually screw into our clear bag. Okay, so I'm gonna do that really quick. Okay, so you're gonna want to lay the clean bag there on the ground. You're gonna run your hose up like this, and I'm going to plug it into my water source right here, which I'm going to do off camera. And then, as you can see here, I've got a stream of water. It's gonna flow through my filter. I'm gonna unclip this here because I had it clipped earlier. And then this is actually physically filtering out my water downhill. You gotta have it downhill. And it's gonna fill up my clean bag with clean water that I can drink. I can pour this directly into my water bottle or drink it directly out of there. So that is how the gravity filter works. And once it finishes filtering here, it's super simple to use, super lightweight. Once it finishes filtering, I'm gonna backwash this. We're gonna backwash this every single time we use it, and I'll show you guys how to do that. Alright, so we are pretty much done filtering water here, and I have a whole bag full of fresh water. So I'll pour the majority of this water into my Nalgene, whatever fits in my Nalgene. Any leftover, and I'm gonna want to save like a little bit of water for the backwash. So we're gonna use clean water for the backwash. That's important, clean water for backwash. Okay, now for backwash. I bet you guys are like, oh, like what's that? So each time you filter water, right? It's adding debris and dirt into here. So the easiest way to backwash your filter here, we want to prolongate the life of this for as long as possible. So I personally do it every single time I filter water. It's by preference though. If your filter is kind of running slow, you're not going to need this end, but I want you guys to pay close attention. So we have the dirty bag up here hanging, right? All right, what I'm going to do with this here, I'm gonna like attempt to set this. This is so hard to do by myself. Let me shoot. Okay, so I'm gonna actually switch the flow. So I'm gonna unplug it here, swap the flow there. So now we have clean water coming down through there, and then we're gonna take the clean bag here. You can just hang it in the same spot, and I'm just gonna run the rest of my clean water through the filter like this. Okay, so this is what we call backwash. Now it is important to remember to re-swap the directional flow of your filter for the next time that you use it after you finish filtering out the water here, because you don't want dirty water going into your clean bag. So I swap this back immediately after I finish filtering, so you want to remember to do that. But yeah, we're gonna get all the junk out of the filter. So always use clean water to backwash your filter. So I think this is pretty much where I'm gonna call it, and I'm gonna swap the direction. So when you store your filter, I went ahead and changed the lines again. This goes in the dirty bag. You'll see that the dirty water will flow down. So I'm gonna store it like this so I don't forget to swap that filter bag. And then this packs down in stores super small, super nicely. Like I said, this is my personal favorite type of filter. Everybody has their own preference. And you see how like nice and neatly that just like stored in my backpack. And I have a full Nalgene of water ready to go. But yeah, everybody has their own preference of what type of water filter they use. Like I said, this gravity filter is just my personal favorite. You'll hear a lot of different people use a lot of different types of filters. The gravity filter, like that in itself took me less than 10 minutes to filter water, sit here, kind of chill out while my water filtered. So yeah, like I said, that's just my personal favorite because you can filter a lot of water in a short amount of time with that filter. But yeah, there's a lot of filters out there on the market. So just make sure knowing, like going into like your trip, that you know like what type of filter, you know, you want to use. Really, it's a regional thing too because different regions require different types of filters because there are different organisms in water in different areas. So in North America, you normally don't have to worry too much. You can just kind of buy a filter. But yeah, just do your research on your filters. Like I said, the Platypus brand in and of itself is pretty decent brand. Highly recommend them. So, but yeah, I mean, that was super easy and I got to take a break while doing it. So shout out Grandma and Grandpa. I've been eating these so much, so bad. I've got about 5 left, if that says anything. They brought me a whole box, and I've just been eating them. But they're a great trail snack, because they have a lot of calories. So, my legs feel like they're about to fall off. I don't even know how many miles I've done. We're gonna tally it out whenever I get back, because I've been going over the same trail a couple times to finish my loops. So, we'll see. Claire, is that you? You're way out there. Oh. This is crazy beautiful. I just got wildflowers. Wow. Look, you guys can see there's Jackson Lake Dam right there. So, just for a little bit of orientation. My house is like that way.
Weatherby, Teton dispatch. I copied. You are. Teton dispatch 822.
I love it here. Guys, I've entered a different ecosystem. Look at how massive these trees are. Like, I know this video doesn't probably do justice, but I got excited. Like, I love seeing the change in ecosystem. This is a very large tree. Look at how big that tree is. Look at how little my hand. Big tree. Check out this little camouflage butterfly. In green. And I found a feather, but it's illegal to keep them, so fly away. Look, there's little small fish in the stream. Also, the stream is super clear. There's there's little fish swimming. Goodbye, trail. We're heading back to the car. In total, we did about 19 miles. 19 miles. So it was fun, but my legs are tired now. So we're gonna go home and maybe go swim in Jackson Lake. I don't know though, but I'm tired. Well, spotted an elk buddy. And there was a fox, but she ran off over there. But okay.
Okay, so I ended up coming home, taking a shower, going to get food because I did not feel like cooking. I went to Signal Mountain Lodge and I got fish and chips, which made me so happy. But yeah, I did Emma Matilda today. I did Oxbow Bend, and there was like 2 other trails that kind of connected that I did to get that whole section of the park knocked out. So I did 2 oceans, Emma Matilda, and then the other like little loops kind of connecting to Emma Matilda. So I've done that whole section of the park now. But yeah, it was a really pretty trail. Definitely recommend Emma Matilda for anybody coming hiking here. It's really pretty, and I didn't run into a single other person the whole hike. But right now there is preservation going on there, so just make sure that you adhere strictly to the signs. If you guys are going hiking there, it's very important to stay on the trail in the designated zones. It's important to stay on trail anyway. But yeah, so summary of this week, pretty much just worked in the permits office. Like I said, it's been getting really busy, starting to pick up. Hiked the 2 oceans of Matilda this week. This weekend, I will be going backpacking. I'm not sure yet if I have a 2 or 3 day weekend, so depending on if I have a 2 or 3 day weekend, we might attempt the Crush Trail. We'll see, because there's still a lot of snow and ice up there. But if not, I'm going to be doing paintbrush to the Cascade Canyon loop there. So might be trying that loop if we can't attempt the Crush Trail, depending on if I have that 2 or 3 day weekend. So yeah, I'll keep you guys in the loop this week. I don't think I did anything other than that. I went down to Jackson once last week to go get groceries, floated the snake. That was another thing that I did this week. But yeah, it was a pretty chill week other than being busy at work. So I'll definitely try to keep you guys updated a little bit more in the future. I know this past 2 weeks I've kind of been busy, had a lot going on, but definitely thanks for watching this week's video. I know it's probably shorter than the last couple weeks video, but definitely got to highlight a couple things there. Taught you guys how to use gravity filter, which was pretty cool. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you need permits, come see me at Culture Bay Permit Office. I'd be happy to try to help you the best that I can. I know we're getting busy now handing out permits, so just make sure you come the day before your trip, and I will be able to see what we have available, help you guys book your permits at that point. So yeah, thanks for watching this week's video. Hope you guys all have a great week, and I'll see you next Saturday. Bye!